Italians have voted in the country's most right-wing government since World War II. Giorgia Meloni is set to become Italy's first female prime minister in history. Her far-right party won the most votes in elections held over the weekend. Meloni claims she will put traditional Italians and their values first, but her opponents say she could take Italy down the path of illiberal democracies such as Hungary. Ruth Ben-Ghiat joins me now for more. She's a professor of history and Italian studies at New York University and an author of Strongman, Mussolini to the present. Ruth, tell me, what do we mean here when Meloni talks about Italian values, her critics say illiberal? Tell me what policies we're talking about here.
Well, it's important to know that Meloni is very unusual in the right-wing panorama in Europe. So she espouses, she's very tough on immigration, but she also espouses great replacement theory. And she's actually to the right of even Tucker Carlson on these issues. She says it's not just demographic change, it's that there's a plot by George Soros and the EU to flood Europe with mass immigration and create chaos and ruin white Christian civilization. She's the first female prime minister of Italy. But in the places that her party already has governed, they've made abortion more difficult to access. So she has those things in common with Viktor Orban and other far-right leaders, but her heritage goes back to neo-fascism. She was a hardcore neo-fascist militant her whole youth, and the logo of her party, called Brothers of Italy, has a flame in it, a tricolor flame. And she insists on keeping that there, that symbol, because it was the symbol of the original neo-fascist party. And she's an admirer of Mussolini. So she represents a danger, many people think, because it is really the heritage of fascism.
When you talk about her great replacement theory, the Vatican is in Italy, essentially. And so how will the conflict, how do you think that will play out, this new government and a pope who obviously holds a different position about immigrants?
Certainly on immigrants, there are other issues, abortion, perhaps they will see more eye to eye. But yes, the Vatican has survived for many, many years because it knows how to be pragmatic. And Meloni is pragmatic as well. In fact, she calls herself a conservative. And that's one reason I'm emphasizing that she has very extreme views, because you're going to hear more about her being a conservative. And it will depend, when we talk about what is the effect on Europe, Italy has economic issues, high unemployment. We'll see who she picks as a finance minister, how she will compromise with more centrist parties. What will she really be like as a prime minister? We'll have to see.
And that's the question which makes Italy interesting with respect to all of Europe and arguably the whole globe, which is, can those officials who are elected on a more nationalist or fringe positions, or what used to be considered fringe positions, actually get the job done when it comes to the things that voters care about? And what's your assessment of that, her ability to meet some of those challenges, and also her positions on things like support for Ukraine, which would maybe have less ideological cast?
Yeah, she, as a far-right person, she was a big fan of Putin until it was not convenient to be a big fan of Putin. So now she's been very pro-Ukraine since the war broke out. But her governing partners, the League and Forza Italia, Berlusconi and Salvini, are extremely pro-Putin. In fact, Berlusconi, who used to be prime minister, released a video just days ago defending Putin's, war on Ukraine. So there's going to be tensions within the governing coalition and also with the EU. One thing I want to note is, because of the EU's experience with Hungary's Orban, who takes money but is destroying democracy, the EU has now implemented some democracy protections. It's called a rule of law conditionality clause that says if you don't respect the rule of law, if you start destroying democracy, your funds could be reduced or frozen. And so we'll see what happens with Meloni, but she used to be a Eurosceptic, very against the EU. And I don't think she'll be like that in practice, but the EU now has democracy protection weapons to use.
And just quickly, Ruth, is there a thing we should watch for on that specific matter that the EU would be looking for that might trigger this reduction in money?
Well, violations of rights, rollbacks of reproductive rights. She insists that she won't, try and take away the abortion rights. Also, human rights violations with immigrants, turning back boats. So that kind of thing.
All right, Ruth Ben-Ghiat, thank you so much for being with us.